Headlines for this week include the 21st annual Turkey Trot returns to La Crosse.
The Wind Ensemble concert is this weekend.
And information on the Cooley Region Humane Society Telethon.
Stay tuned, WMCM's Week in Review is next. Hello, and thanks for watching WMCM's Week in Review. I'm Greg Hill.
And I'm Logan Beatty. Well, it's almost Thanksgiving week here at UWL, and that means a shift in class schedules for UW La Crosse students. Classes beginning the week of November 23rd will be switched for the Thanksgiving holiday. Classes for Monday will remain the same as your normal class schedule, but on Tuesday, November 24th, Thursday classes will be held. On Wednesday, November 25th, Friday classes will be held. Class schedules will revert back to normal when students return from Thanksgiving break. Make sure to make these changes on your calendars and enjoy the short holiday break.
The University of Wisconsin-La Crosse Wind Ensemble will hold its second concert of the fall semester on Sunday. The ensemble will perform a program of varied band music led by conductor Dr. Thomas Seddon. The selections being performed include music by Bernstein, Ives, Verassi, and many more. The concert will start at 2 in the afternoon on Sunday at the Viterbo University Fine Arts Center, 929 Jackson Street. The event is free, but if you're asked to bring a non-perishable food item for local food pantries. For more information, contact Dr. Thomas Seddon at TSEDDON or 608-785-8411.
This Saturday, November 21st, the Turkey Trot, a Thanksgiving time tradition for area runners, joggers, and marathoners alike, is returning for its 21st year. This year's festivities will include a 5K, a 1-mile course, and races for the kids. The 5K begins at 9 in the morning at the Recreational Eagles Center at UWL, with the 1-mile race starting shortly after. The children's races will start at 10:45 and will be held at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Registration for the Turkey Trot will also be at the Recreational Eagles Center. Pricing for the races are $25 for the 5K, $20 for the 1-mile, and $17 for the children's races. All of these pricing options include a commemorative shirt. For more information about the event, go to www.edu/turkeytrot or call Jenny Larson at 608-785-5228. This week, we sent out our WMCM crew to get an in-depth sneak peek at what to expect for this year's 21st annual Turkey Trot.
Our WMCM crew had an opportunity to speak with events coordinator Jenny Larson about the upcoming Turkey Trot this Saturday morning as she gave us insight on the topic.
The Turkey Trot is this Saturday, November 21st. It's our 21st year. In celebrating that, we also added a 1-mile this year, so we have a 5K. It starts at 9 a.m., and then the 1-mile starts after, and then after that we have Junior Gobs, which are kids' races, and they're the dash and the half-mile.
We also asked Jenny what benefactors are included in the Turkey Trot fundraising.
The fundraiser, we kind of break it up in different sections. So we have a community benefactor, and this year it's Whiz Corps. They're actually located in Myrick Park, just across from UWL. And then the rest of it goes to student scholarships for UWL. So some here for student development opportunities for staff that works in here, and then international programs office as well.
Registration is still open for the event and will be leading up to the race. You can find packet pickups at the rec center and also register online on the event's calendar.
When you put in your registration, you put in your predicted time. It's one of our award areas, so the person who gets closest to their predicted time also wins an award. We also do like overall male, female, age categories. We have a costume contest and a coloring contest that day. Registration, we are doing paper forms and online right now still. You can also register on Friday during our packet pickup, which is from 2 to 7 p.m., and then the morning of, up until about 8:45.
Again, the 21st Annual Turkey Trot will take place this Saturday at 9 a.m., beginning at the University Rec Center to the Veterans Memorial Football Stadium. For WMCM, this has been Kyle Popovich and Steph Sharpie.
Now here's Mark Buchholtz to tell us about some other big events coming up. Mark?
Thanks, Greg. This week at UWL Students, we'll be partnering with
the Cooley Region Humane Society local TV station KQEG for their 17th annual Cooley Region Humane Society Telethon. The telethon will air this Saturday, November 21st from 7 to 10 on KQEG TV, Channel 23, Charter Cable Channel 5, CenturyLink Prism 4, Digital 989, and Campus Channel 6. Guests during the show will include owners of pets adopted from the society, pet therapy specialists, dog trainers, and society advocates. Donations that have been requested include towels, sheets, soap, bleach, office and animal supplies, or other items that could be used at the Humane Society. To participate, drop off donations during the telethon at 205 Wing Technology Center or pledge at 608-785-837-9. All proceeds will benefit the Cooley Region Humane Society. Looking for a bit of help with writing those scholarship essays? It Makes Sense is putting on a scholarship writing workshop Wednesday, December 2nd at 6:30 in the evening in the Ward Room in Cartwright Center. Writing essays for scholarships can seem intimidating and difficult, but after the session, you will be sure to have more confidence and skill to make it an easy job. There is no better way to get into the holiday spirit than with some holiday arts and crafts. These crafts, as well as picking up your spirits, may just provide some inexpensive gift ideas. Come crafts with It Makes Sense. Learn ways to save at the craft store and how to make something special for someone you love. The event will be taking place in the cellar in the Cartwright Center at 6 p.m. Thursday, December 3rd. Now, back to you, Greg.
Thanks, Mark. Recent events around the world have many thinking about the differences between cultures, and UWL's Culture Coffee Hour is an opportunity for open communication on global topics. The goals of Cultural Coffee Hour include creating awareness of international topics and generate respect and appreciation of differences. Presentation formats vary by topic and could be a roundtable discussion or an individual presentation. The next Cultural Coffee Hour will take place on Tuesday, December 1st from 5 to 6 in the evening in the Hall of Nations, Centennial Hall. For more information, contact Miranda Panzer at mpanzer@uwlax.edu or contact her 608-785-8016. November is Men's Health Awareness Month, which encourages men all over to check with their doctors to combat against treatable diseases by catching them early. WMCM's Alex Riley talked with 2 students on our campus and learned firsthand why it's important to get yourself checked early.
So I got hurt at work, and I started feeling some really, really bad pains in the groin area.
I was umpiring, and I had been struck in the groin area with a baseball. I felt a lump that seemed irregular or shouldn't be there.
Meet Jimmy and Nick. Both are part of the same university, the same fraternity, and both even learned the importance of men's health awareness at a very young age.
I would have been 19 when it happened.
I was 20 years old, and that to me was super young. I do have a grandfather who had prostate cancer, so it was especially scary because there's just been something in that area.
Since 2003, November has been called Movember, or Men's Health Awareness Month. Millions have joined the men's health movement, raising $650 million and funding over 1,000 programs, focusing on prostate cancer, testicular cancer, poor mental health, and physical inactivity, an issue originally believed to be reserved for older men, not college men.
It was a little freaky. Because I'd heard about it, like after 40 you need to get checked more so for like prostate cancer and all that stuff, and I didn't think anything would happen until I got to be about that age. It kind of puts things into perspective that like it could happen to anybody. You don't really need to be 40, and it's something that every person from like, I don't know, age like 15 through death should worry about.
It's really crazy to think, but coming up in about a week, it'll be exactly 1 year from when the incident initially occurred. And after they stressed the importance of self-examinations, that really helped kind of shape my feeling towards it, because now that I realize that it could happen to me, it's a very real thing.
1 year later, after Jimmy and Nick realized the importance of men's health at an early age, they are now stronger advocates for men's health awareness compared to their college peers, to which they hope gains the awareness that it deserves.
I definitely think it's something that's not talked about enough. I know we have really hyped up months like October, which is like Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I think a lot of people do No Shave November, which is supposed to be promoting men's health, but a lot of people don't understand why they do it.
Well, I think it's important knowing that we do have a month devoted to men's health. You know, it's this month, why don't you check yourself, you know? Just make sure. I mean, this is a good reminder. If you don't do it ever, this is your 1 month that you're reminded of it. There are numerous different events. You know, there's a lot of people that are trying to raise money and raise awareness for this very sensitive topic, very sensitive issue.
And as the month of November comes to a close, there are 2 things that Nick hopes all men, young and old, learn from his experience.
1, you can always check yourself, no matter when. Again, if not throughout the year, at least during this month. And 2, anybody can suffer. It's not a single person that is exempt from this. Anybody can have these bouts with possible cancer or with cancer. I mean, there's a lot of diagnosed cases. So, never think that it can't happen to you.
In La Crosse, Alex Riley, WMCM.
Prostate and testicular cancer are among the most treatable diseases among men, if caught early. If you would like more information about Movember, you can go to the Movember campaign's website at www.movember.com. Do you like indie music? Do you like pop music? Do you like them presented to you in the form of acoustic guitars by men with beards and long hair? Of course you do. You're in college. Well, tonight at 6 in the evening in the Cellar at Cartwright Center, ease your stressed-out minds to the sweet acoustic sounds of the Icarus account. Don't have the cash to go? You're in luck. This show is free on behalf of the Campus Activities Board Series. Interested in more amazing campus events? CAB provides cultural, educational, and entertainment events just like this one. Join them for their weekly meetings at 5 in the evening at room 259 in the Cartwright Center, or follow them or like them, their campus activities boards on Facebook or Twitter. Students across the country this week stood up to discrimination across college campuses. Students at UW-La Crosse took a stand as well, leading protests across campus. We sent a WMCM crew out to learn more.
This week, WMCM looked at the protests that happened on Monday in regards to a number of students marching across campus in solidarity against racism and intolerance.
I think it was empowering for students of color to be able to have that space to voice their opinions and to be one with each other. I definitely just think it is the start and it's just the beginning of it. I think there's still a lot of spaces and areas of growth.
I think it's interesting how people can build confidence behind a keyboard. And the fact that it shows us what they're really thinking. You don't know if these are your RAs, if these are your lab partners, your room, suite mates. I don't know. You don't know who they are, and the fact that it's coming from people in this area, it's scary. It's really scary.
It was really nice to see all the students of color sort of get together and stand in solidarity with Mizzou. A lot of the issues that are happening around the country are also happening on this campus.
Well, hopefully recruitment of students of color increases, because I'd definitely love to see more people that look like me around. But also I'd like to see training of staff members, because I feel like the teacher is the one that sets the climate in the classroom, and when teachers allow microaggressions and other forms of racism to exist in the classroom without acknowledging them, it's detrimental to people like me.
This is Gao Yang, Cal Yuren, and Jordan. Now back to you in the studio.
AWL Senior was in Washington, D.C. last Saturday to receive the Richard L. Schlegel National Legion of Honor Award for an emerging activist. Rob Wara, a community health education and women's gender and sexuality studies double major, won the award, which recognizes a student who has exhibited outstanding leadership and significantly contributed to the dignity and freedom of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people. Wara was surprised to hear about the nomination, but says that the involvement has been the biggest factor in getting this far. Wara also encouraged other students on campus to become more involved, saying, "No matter what you want to do, get involved. I really can't stress how much of a difference getting involved made for me. At the same time, it's important to learn your limits. Obviously, no one has time to do everything, so prioritize where you want to spend your time and keep yourself involved." Each week, the WMCM crew goes out and talks to your fellow peers in a segment we call Campus Insight. This week, they ask students what their favorite part about Thanksgiving is.
This weekend, WMCM set out to interview some UWO students enjoying their last nice days of fall, what they're looking forward to this Thanksgiving.
What's your favorite part of Thanksgiving?
My favorite part of Thanksgiving would probably have to be the nap afterwards, because after all that good food is in you, then you just get to sleep, and then you're comatose for about a couple hours, and then you're ready to have some more food, pretty much.
You know, I like the food, but family's probably most important. Overall, it's just a great holiday.
My favorite part is the flag football game that I play with my family on Thanksgiving.
Making leftovers with my family, because I have my mom has 12 brothers and sisters, so we get together and make that, and then we eat it on Thanksgiving.
I really like watching football games with my family and friends.
I like going shopping the day after, so Black Friday.
For WMCM's Campus Insight, this has been Pauline Brown and Jonathan Dorton.
Look for the WMCM crew around campus for a chance to have your opinions heard on next week's Campus Insight. And now, here's Evan Barrett with a review of the classic movie, The Blues Brothers.
Thanks, Logan. In one of the first sketches turned movies from Saturday Night Live, John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd played Jake and Elwood Blues. The Blues Brothers are reunited after Jake is released from an Illinois prison. Elwood picks up Jake and immediately takes Jake to immediately goes visit the penguin, or the nun, that raised the two. There, they find out that the school owes over $5,000 in taxes. The two brothers want to help out and realize that they can bring their band back together to raise the money. Along the way, they make several enemies by breaking the law, dashing from bar tabs, and stealing other band shows. Even though the new enemies attempt to stop Jake and Elwood, they'll never be caught because they're on a mission from God. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
Lots of space in this mall.
People walking around every day playing games and taking scores. Trying to make other people lose their mind. Well, be careful you don't lose yours. Yeah,
Now, how are you going to raise $5,000 in 11 days without ripping off somebody?
dance to the jailhouse rock. Dance to the jailhouse rock. Dance to the jailhouse rock. Dance to the jailhouse rock.
I remain celibate for you.
Shake, 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 shake it, baby.
Hit it.
My heart's calculating. My true love will be waiting.
If my estimations are correct, we should be very close to the Honorable Richard J. Daley Plaza. That's where they got that Picasso. Yep.
Two guys come in here, black suits, black hats, one carrying a briefcase?
Yeah, I just set him down there.
Thank you.
John Belushi.
You, how much for your wife?
Dan Aykroyd. After the gig, maybe we could, hang out together. James Brown.
I heard the sound in my car.
Cab Calloway.
Hurdy, 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 hurdy.
Ray Charles.
You know depreciation, man.
Carrie Fisher.
I must now kill you and your brother.
Aretha Franklin.
You're living with me now, and you're not gonna go sliding around with your old white woman friends.
Henry Gibson.
He better pray the police get to him before we do.
And the Blues Brothers Band.
Let's go, boys.
The Blues Brothers.
First,
first of many Saturday Night Live sketches turned movies. Following the Blues Brothers was shows like Wayne's World, Night at the Roxbury, and Superstar. The movie was a great success with the fans in the box office, grossing over $115 million, but it was also a hit with the critics. And who could possibly hate this movie? Not only does this movie boast two comedic superstars of the 1980s, but also had several cameo appearances by musicians James Brown, Ray Charles, and Aretha Franklin. However, I'd have to argue that the most important cameo of the entire movie was Jake's ex-fiancée, Carrie Fisher, who most would recognize as Princess Leia. The Blues Brothers may have started off by setting the bar way too high for other Saturday Night Live movies to ever reach the screen, due to being such a highly quotable movie and catchy with all of its fancy blues jingles. Stay tuned for weather with Ashley Kalbus next on WMCM.
Introducing WMCM's newest sports show, Hot Shot Sports. It's got games, memes, highlights, gifts, and everything else that you'd ever want from a sports show, like everything current from social media and all other sports action. So tune in to Charter Channel 989 and Campus Channel 6 for some Hot Shot Sports.
Hi, welcome back to WMCM. My name's Ashley Kalbus, and I'm here to share with you this weekend's weather. Starting off tonight, it's going to be clear skies and a low of 26. So if you're heading out to do any holiday shopping or any night activities, make sure you bundle up, wear some mittens. Looking in tomorrow, we're going to have mostly clouded skies with a high of 38 degrees, which is going to be the scorching temperature of the weekend. So if you're looking to do anything outside, tomorrow's the day to do it. Moving on to Saturday, it's going to be sunny skies and a high of 31. So again, not too warm, but definitely not horrible. Looking into Sunday, we have sunny skies, so another beautiful day outside, 34 degrees. So if you're looking to do anything outside before the snow hits, this weekend is your chance to do it. Now let's head on over to Jan for this weekend's interview.
Well, thanks, Ashley, for this week's review. For this Week in Review Sessions interview, I am happy to have Katie Kortenkamp as our guest. She is an environmental psychologist, and she is currently interested in finding out how people care more about environmental issues. And Katie, in social media we can see that people become very upset when animals or animal rights are hurt. And your current research tries to find out our ethical understanding for animals. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So I've been working on a couple different research projects that relate to how people can develop more moral and emotional concern for animals and increase their desire to help animals. So, for example, one project that I've been working on has looked at the effectiveness of encouraging people to take the perspective of animals who are suffering. So we've probably all had the experience where we've been told, imagine, walking in someone else's shoes to try to understand what they're feeling and what they're going through and take their perspective. So research has shown that by taking the perspective of someone else, it increases your sympathy and your desire to help them. And so more recent research has looked at whether that can also work with animal victims. So when you talk about those images on social media, when you see that animal who's been harmed by pollution, maybe from an oil spill or garbage in the ocean, if you imagine how that animal is feeling, what they're going through, how they're affected by that situation, that's going to increase your sympathy for them and your desire to help them.
Okay, so imagine we both work for an environmental organization, and now we would like to raise environmental concern. So what would be a good example for a way to do it, and for creating a message? What would be effective and what rather not?
Okay, so one issue with environmental problems is they oftentimes have these kind of far out long-term consequences, and so they don't evoke a sort of immediate emotional response in people. So going back to that perspective-taking idea, if you were to have a message that encouraged people to kind of imagine how another person or their children or their grandchildren or other animals are feeling, that's likely going to evoke that emotional response and likely increase their willingness to help. On the other side of things, a more ineffective message would be one that focused too much on statistics or large numbers in particular. It's hard for us to kind of wrap our brains around large numbers. So a lot of environmental problems like climate change, for example, it has the potential to have these kind of massive environmental impacts, right, where we might have hundreds of millions of people becoming climate refugees. But focusing on those large numbers of people, it just doesn't evoke the same emotional response. It doesn't evoke as much desire to help as focusing on one individual story. So there's been in psychological research an effect that's called the identified victim effect, which shows this, that focusing on that one individual is going to increase your willingness to help. And so some research that I've done recently has been trying to see if that effect that has been found with human victims would also translate to animal victims as well.
And looking at our emotional concern for animals compared to humans, does our ethical concern look the same way?
Yeah, so one study that I conducted found that, in fact, there was this sort of identified victim effect with animal victims. So a single animal victim was evoked more of an emotional response and a greater desire to help than a group of victims. However, I conducted another study that found the exact opposite effects. So I think that comparing those two studies, there's going to be certain factors that affect whether our emotional concern looks the same for animals as it does for humans. I think it's going to depend on the species of animal involved, your personal relationship to the animal, and the type of harm that they're committing or that's being committed against them. I think one clear example of this is looking at the differences in emotional and ethical concern for farm animals versus more kind of majestic wild animals or our pets. And we see a lot of big differences between those two.
Yeah. So finally, now that you're here, would you like to send out a message to UWL students to raise environmental concern?
Yeah, so in general, environmental concern is actually pretty high, but the problem is it doesn't necessarily translate into action. Environmental issues are sometimes really big and overwhelming, and it feels like there's not much our individual actions can do. So I guess the message that I would want to send out is to remember that small change can lead to large changes, and even an individual's action can have ripple effects and cause other people to make changes as well.
Okay, well, thank you for that message. Thank you for having me here. And I feel that we should now change to Haley Seitz, who takes a look at this week's UWL sports. Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. The men and women's cross-country teams have both secured bids to the NCAA tournament. It's the men's 29th and women's 30th appearance in school history. Both have momentum heading into the tournament and are ready to compete this Saturday in Oshkosh.
I was just super excited. I was actually on the phone with one of the other girls right before, and we were talking about it, and we were just waiting, kept refreshing the page, and then we just were both like super excited and screamed.
There's going to be a lot of teams there and a lot of fans there, so there'll be a lot of noise, and everyone there is the best of the best. So I would say just getting ready for that very different atmosphere in a lot of different weather.
The women's basketball team season is already underway, and the Eagles return all 5 starters from a year ago. They might not be the preseason favorites in the WIAC, but head coach Lois Heron thinks her team is ready to build off a strong finish from last season. For more, here's Collin Talbert.
And so we were 11-16 with a very young team last year with 11 newcomers, and so everybody is back.
Last year was definitely a year that we used to kind of figure out working together, and I'm hoping that this year we already have it figured out so we can kind of just cut to the chase.
Among the 5 starters, returning seniors Maggie Bishop and Jenna Anderson lead the way, alongside senior Winona State transfer Cameron Chapin to give the Eagles great veteran leadership.
They just lead by example. You know, they hope we have established a culture for our program that, you know, they've worked really hard, and you know, it's up to them to really show the underclassmen, hey, how do we work hard in practice? What do we need to do in every game situation? And they've really done that.
UWL is picked to finish 6th in the conference this season, but they are more than ready to show teams what they've got.
Doesn't surprise me one bit. I would have picked us there too, but I mean, you got to show people they're wrong. based off of our record last year, I totally would have put us there.
To give us a little bit of fire and determination to kind of prove them wrong. I know we've finished there in the past years, but there's definitely room for that to be different this year.
The Eagles still have a set goal to win a conference crown this year, but will come into the season with the mentality of taking things one day at a time.
We just got to come every day. Obviously, our conference is our goal to win the conference, but we can only measure how well we improve each and every day. And so we really talk about what did we do to get better today, rather than, hey, you can't measure did you win a conference championship today, but we can certainly measure did we get better. And so, every day we really look at, hey, we need to get better, we need to get stronger, and, take one day at a time.
Reporting from Mitchell Hall, Collin Talbert, WMCM.
And that's all for this week's sports.
Well, guys, sounds like it's going to be a pretty blustery and cold weekend, so make it a little snow. So we want to make sure you guys stay warm out there this weekend. Thanks for watching this week's WMCM Week in Review. We'll be back in 2 weeks. There will be no show next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks on Campus Channel 6, Charter Channel 96, and Digital Cable Channel 989. Thank you.